Hello Year 4s and welcome to day 2 of maths. Today we're going to divide 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers with remainders. We're going to use a compact vertical layout, but first we're going to remind ourselves about chunking. Do you remember Chunky Chimp? He loves bananas and he loves chunking things. Bananas come in groups of 5. This is what we call a hand. There are 62 bananas and Chunky Chimp eats 5 There are 62 bananas and Chunky Chimp eats 5 bananas a day, or 1 hand a day. We're going to work out how many hands of bananas he has. We're going to work out how many days 62 bananas will last him. So what do we need to do? We need to find out how many 5s are in 62. Right, let's bunch those bananas together and have a look. How many bunches of bananas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, with 2 bananas left over. (62) divided by 5, because 5 bananas, is equal to 12, with 12 bunches with 2 bananas left over. Or 5 times something equals 62. Now let's look at this example with Chunky Chimp. We want to do 87 bananas divided by 5, because they're put in bunches of 5, and to find out how many bunches that makes and how many are left over. First of all, Chunky Chimp needs to go from 0 to 50, his first chunk. How many 5s make 50? That's right. 10 times 5 is 50. How many have we got left then? We've got 37 left. Okay, well, let's work out the next step. The next step is from 50 to 85. That's a step of 35. How many 5s are in 35? 7 times 5 is 35. And finally, how many left? With a remainder of 2. So that's 10, 17, remainder 2. Let's check and see if we're right. We are. 17, remainder 2. Let's try 47 divided by 3 by chunking on an empty number line. We put 0 at one end and 47 at the other. How many 3s are in 47? Are there more than 10, fewer than 10, or more than 20? Our number line is ready, so we'll make an estimate before we make our first jump. Ten times 3 is 30, so it's more than 10. 20 times 3 is 60, so it's not quite as big as that. So let's do the first jump of 10 times 3 is 30. Now there are 17 left to reach 47. How many 3s are in 17? And how many are left over? Let's try 47 divided by 3 now by chunking on an empty number line. First, we need to draw our number line with 0 at one end and 47 at the other. Now we've got our number line ready. Let's find out how many 3's are in 47. Let's estimate first. Have a good guess. Is it more than 10, fewer than 10, or more than 20? 10 times 3 is 30. So it's definitely more than 3 because 47 is bigger than 30. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 is more than 47, so it's less than that. So we've already worked out the first bit. It's not more than 20. So we can do our first chunk, which is 10 times 3 is 30. From 30 to 47, there are 17 left to reach. Now there are 17 left to reach 47. How many 3's are in 17? And how many are left over? We now need to think about our number facts. 3 times something equals, what's the nearest we can get to 17? 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 is too many. 15 is just right. 3 times 5, 5 times 3, 15 is just right. 5 times 3 is 15. So we've gone from 10 times 3 is 30. 5 times 3 is 15. So from 30 with another 15 takes us to 45. And how many are left over? With a remainder of 2. 47 divided by 3 is equal to 15 remainder 2. Can you see why? Great. We did a jump of 10 times 3 and a jump of 5 times 3. 10 add 5 is 15. And then there's 2 left over that don't divide it by 3. Another way to record 47 divided by 3 is to set it out using a bus shelter method. It looks a little bit like the numbers waiting at the bus stop over here. This is still the same maths, but we're setting out in a different method. This is still the same maths, we're just setting it out in a different way. We know that 10 3's are 30. So we will put 10 in the answer line above 47. Then we'll put 30 underneath 47 and subtract it from 47, leaving. We know that 10 3's are 30. We will put 10 in the answer line above 47. We will subtract 30 from 47, which will leave us with 17. Now, let's remember our jumps on our jumping chimp. Let's remember our chunks on our chunky chimp and on our number line. The first jump we did was 10 times 3 is 30. So, as we know that 10 3's are 30, we put 10 in the answer line above 47, and we put 30 underneath 47 so that we can subtract it, and that leaves us with 17. Our second jump was 5 times 3, which is 15. We put the 15 under the 17 and the 5 in the answer line. Subtract 15 from 17 and you're left with 2. Compare the bus shelter to the chunking on the number line. Where do the steps in each method correspond? Ten times 3 was the first step, and that made 30. So that's the first step you do on the bus shelter. Then you take away to see that you've got 17 left, and then you work out the next chunk. 5 times 3 is 15. So you put 15 as your subtraction, and you remember to put 5 on top of the bus stop with an add sign. You take away 15 from 17 and you're left with 2. Put remainder 2 on our number line, and we can put it at the top as a remainder 2. It's the same as on the number line, 10 times 3, then 5 times 3, and then there's those 2 left. Let's try 68 divided by 5. Let's try a different question this time. 68 divided by 5. So let's do our estimate first. Is it going to be 10 lots of 5 or 20 lots of 5? 10 lots of 5 are 50. 20 lots of 5 are 100. So it's going to be 10 lots of 5. 10 fives are 50. Put 10 in the answer line above 68 and subtract 50 from 68, leaving 18. Now we remember 3 lots of 5 are 15. So let's put that down. Add 3 to the answer line, subtract 15 from 18, and that'll help you find the remainder. The remainder is 3. We took away 10 lots of 5, then 3 lots of 5, which is 13, with 3 left, 3 remainder. 68 divided by 5 is 13 remainder 3. You can check this calculation using the chunking method on chunking on the empty number line until you are confident with the bus stop method. Now it's your turn to go and have a try at chunking and bus stop in your maths books today. Start with a mild because this is something that we haven't done for a while. And if you feel confident with it, move on to the more challenging work. And if you feel confident with it, move on to the hot sheet and maybe even the investigation or challenges.